Right, so on your screen is a PowerPoint presentation for an annual financial report. As you can see, it has this nice Adinkra symbol, which signifies warfare or improvement, or knowledge in warfare. However you want it, but the name of this Adinkra symbol is Akofana. And in this video, we are going to learn how to create this with Adobe Illustrator and then PowerPoint. So if you are ready, we will begin. But before that, I just want to say that if you want to get these designs, these Adinkra designs, there are a lot of them on the web. You can visit. You can go to Google and then you get all the designs there. You can import the AI files, that's the Illustrator files, or the EPS files from the web, but it may not come so easily. I know with Adinkra symbols you may have to pay for some of them from websites like Shutterstock, where they sell these vectors to people. But at the same time, what I do is that I create these myself, so that drawing is for everybody. I need to be blunt with that you can learn to draw anything. I think I am into 6 months. I'm 6 months into learning how to draw with Illustrator, and it's really been amazing, right? There are so many things you can learn, and Illustrator is there to help you in any kind of designs that you want. So, and it's a very powerful tool. So how I make my own designs, it's very simple. You do it, and then Illustrator actually helps you. It's a tool to help you, to make you succeed in your illustration. So without much ado, let's jump onto Illustrator and then try and see if we can recreate it and import it into PowerPoint. Alright, so this is the interface of my Adobe Illustrator. So I'm just going to go to the create new. I would want to maintain the A4 number of artboards. I only need one. I need it in a landscape shape format, and I'll just click OK. Right, so we are going to do some drawings. It's very easy. You don't have to be an expert. You just have to think shapes and lines, and you are good. So we will start. I'll grab the curvature tool and then start making some points below here. Right, go up and start going up. Okay, right, okay, and then I'll come down small and then do a sharp. There we go. We are creating the sword, the Ashanti or the Akan kind of sword, right? So we come, here we go, boom, and then a double click here, right? Does it look like a sword? Well, maybe it does, but you could see that here the point is it's a bit pointed here. So what we'll do is I will try and then make some corrections, right? So I'll grab the direct selection tool, click here, hold the point and straighten it up a bit, right? Okay, so I think it looks like a sword to me, right? Okay. Alright, so what we're going to do is that we are going to shape it up and design it a bit, add some features to it. So I'll just grab the ellipse tool, just get a center here, somewhere here, right? And then hold down Shift and Alt and just drag out an ellipse, right? move it to the right a bit. Okay. I'll just hold Alt or Option on the Mac and then just drag a copy up here, right? To trying to make the handle of the sword somehow, right? Okay. I'll go ahead and get the ellipse tool again. Try and hover around the center. Hold down Shift and Option or Alt and drag out another ellipse, right? Cool. So what I'll do next is that I'll select everything, alright, first, and then grab my shape builder to punch out some holes in the handle, right? So I'll just click Alt or Option and then just drag over the inner circle, right? Okay. I think I'll just have to go Control that's Command plus plus to zoom in a bit. I think we still have some shapes here, right? So we need to take care of that. Alright, so that's the shape builder tool. Pressing down Alt, just have to take care of the inner shape, right? Okay, so it looks good now. Okay, so I'll just zoom out. Okay, and then select everything, and then on the Pathfinder I'll just use the click to unite to create a compound shape, right? Perfect. Now our sword is taking shape. Okay, not perfect, but it looks quite okay. So we go ahead and add some extra details to our sword. So we're just gonna add some basic designs, as I mentioned, to the blade and see how it will go. So I'll grab the polygon tool. This time around I want some shapes. I would want some triangles first, so I'll just drag and get a triangle. Alright, and then maybe I'll rotate it a bit. So I'm gonna rotate this. Okay. Make another copy. I just want 3 copies of this. Hold down Option, then drag it. Rotate it on the axis, push it. All right. There we have our sword. Maybe add some round shapes. Just being creative. Just hold and get the ellipse tool and maybe add a round shape, right? Hold down Shift and then okay, right. So I'm just gonna put the triangles into the sword. Let me see how I'm gonna hold them. Just rotate them, right, to make that nice design on the blade. See. Okay, I'll bring this down a bit. bring this down. All right, I don't think I will need the wall, but we can be a bit creative and then just hold and put it here somewhere. All right, I'm gonna do next, just zoom back in a bit and see how it looks like. I think it looks quite okay. Maybe move things around a bit. Just want the circle to be in between those triangles. All right, it's okay. So select everything, grab my shape builder tool, and then just try and punch holes. Alt selected, I'll just be creating these holes, right? Okay, good. Select everything and then use the pathfinder to unite the shapes. Okay, what I'm going to do next is that I'm just going to give it a bit of a color, right? Oops, no. All right, so I'm just going to fill it with a brown shape color. And I'm just going to reduce the stroke to 0, right? Right, so there we have it. We have our sword, nice looking sword. What I'll do next is just make another copy and then reflect it. Transform, go to reflect, and then make another copy, right? And then try and move things around a bit to unite them into that aquafina shape, right? So this one, I'm just gonna rotate it. Oops, I'm gonna go this way with this. I think I'm okay. Looks good. And then what I'm going to do next is just bring one on top of the other, so arrange and bring to front, so automatically this one will go to the back. All right, I'll select everything and then group them, object, and then group. All right, so I'm going to transport this particular image or this selection into PowerPoint. So what I'm going to do is, after selecting all of them, I'll go to Window and then Asset Export, and then drag the whole thing onto this asset board. I have it here. Make sure the format is SVG, and then export it. I'll put it on my desktop, right? It has a similar object, so I'll just replace it. Okay, so I'm going to close Illustrator and then move on to PowerPoint. Okay, all right, I'm going to create a new file, a new presentation, and I need one with title and content, and then here I'm just going to go insert picture and make sure that I'm bringing a picture from file. So I search for it. It's SVG1, right? Asset 1. Okay, perfect. I have it. Then I insert it. Now I've been able to bring my image into PowerPoint. Okay, now here's where things get interesting. So I'm going to hold down shift and drag it and make it bigger, right? So PowerPoint also has some features that can make our image very interesting, so we're going to explore those options that we have in PowerPoint. Okay, I'm just going to delete the first slide, which is not needed, and then here I'll just type the annual financial report. Perfect. Center it a bit and then make it bold, and perhaps increase the font. Okay, cool. So I'll select the image and try and make it interesting. So what I will do is that I'll go to the shape outline here in PowerPoint. No, I'll go to shape fill, and I want a sort of a texture, right, kind of thing. So I just hover and then see the interesting ones. Let me choose this one and see how it will go. But it's not doing anything. Why? Because after bringing the SVG file into PowerPoint, what we need to do is that we have to convert our image or our SVG file into shapes, right, so that we can edit it and make interesting things with it. So I mean, with the item selected, you just right click and go to convert to shape, right? Perfect. So now we can go to the shape fill and then give it a texture, right? So which texture will work? Right, so this one works. And then open this dialog box and then try and get some shadow and transparency and just tweak things around a bit. Okay, so I'm just going to go to shadow and then get some shadow in there, right? Just a bit subtle. And then the transparency is going to reduce, go down transparency a bit, right? And then under reflection, you can choose to reflect, get the image reflected downwards, or you can just bring it down. But here you can do a lot of interesting things with it depending on what you want to do. You can give it a 3D shape and then get it a bit of a 3D effect, right? Scale this up a bit to get some 3D effect here, right? And then the size of the shadow, I'm bringing it down so that it doesn't really affect it, right? So that's fine. I mean, it looks like a real sword with all these 3D and then shadow effects, right? I just want to have a black background to this report. So I'm going to go to shape fill and then make sure I solid fill and then use a darker color, right, so that the image will stand out. And then maybe even add some pattern fill, right, depending on what you want. Okay, and then make sure that the background color is darker, right? Depends on what you want, and then it means the text will have to be white or something. So I just highlight the text and then just give it a white font color or something, right? And then you can add a text box to include the name of probably the one who is going to present the report. Anima Amor. Oh, just left the OH. Okay. Select everything and then make sure this is white. Okay, so there you have it. And let me know your thoughts about this. If you have any questions, you can